Okay, let's look at homework number 4, problem number 21. Right? So we have this quadratic function given, and for part A, we want to find the average rate of change from x equals 1 to x equals 5. Right? So let's do that. Alright, so average rate of change from 1 to 5, so we need to compute f of 5 minus f of 1 over 5 minus 1, right? So this is going to be equal to, right? So we need to plug in 5 for x, so you have 3 times 5 squared. So 5 squared is 25, and times 3, so it's going to be 75, right? Minus, right, if you plug in 1 here, 1 squared is 1 times 3, so it's 3, right, divided by, right, 5 minus 1 is 4, right, so this is equal to, right, so 75 minus 3 is 72, and divide by 4, right, so that's what, let's say we can squeeze 4 in 7, so it's 1, and you have 32, so 4 times 8 is 32, so it's 18, right? So we have that. So average rate of change from 1 to 5 is 18, right? Let's type it in, right? So this is 18, right? Check the answer, right? We got that. All right, so part B, we want to find the slope of the secant line through the point 1 comma f of 1 and 1 plus h comma f of 1 plus h. All right, so let's do that. All right, so slope of the secant line, just a slope formula, and so it's going to be f of 1 plus h minus f of 1, right, divided by, right, 1 plus h minus 1, right? So first we can cancel 1 here, so 1 minus 1, so they cancel out. All right, so let's compute. All right, what's f of 1 plus h? So every time we see x in the formula, we put the quantity 1 plus h. So this is going to be, right, 3 times 1 plus h squared, right, minus, if you plug in 1, we've done this, it's actually 3, so we have 3 here, right, over h, right. Since we have 3 in common, so 3 is here, and 3 is here, so I'm gonna just pull that out. So I'm gonna put 3 right in front, so that we don't have to worry about it. All right. Then you have 1 plus h squared. If you multiply it out, you're gonna get 1 squared, so it's 1. And 2 times 1 times h is gonna be 2h plus h squared. Right? Then you have, so we pulled 3 out from negative 3, so it's going to be negative 1 here. Right, all over h. Right, so we can cancel, here's 1 here, so 1 minus 1. All right, then luckily what's left on top both have h as a factor. So we have 3, you have a 3 in front, right? So I'm going to pull h from 2h, so you're going to have 2, right? And I factor h from h squared, have h there, right? Then you have h on the bottom. All right, so you can cancel h on top here, h on top, because h divided by h is basically 1. So what you get is 3 times 2 plus h. All right, so we have that. All right, so let's type it in. All right, so it's going to be 3 times 2 plus h. All right, so let's check. All right, we got that. Okay, for part C, we need to find the slope of the graph at the 1, comma 1 f of 1. All right, slope of the graph is equivalent to slope of the tangent line to the graph at point 1, comma f of 1. All right, so let's do that. All right, so slope of the tangent line is the limit of the slope of the secant line. Luckily, we did all the work in part B. So here, so if you want to find slope m, this is going to be the limit, right, of f of 1 plus h over minus f of 1 over h as h approaches 0, right? So this is a limit of the difference quotient, right? So from part B, we know that this expression is simplified to 3 times quantity 2 plus h. So we just need to take the limit as h approaches 0 of 3 times quantity 2 plus h. Right? So now h is going to 0. So this guy right here is going to go to 0. Right? So what's left is 3 times 2, which is 6. So this is equal to 6. Right? So 6 is the slope of the tangent line to the graph at 1, comma f of 1. Right? So let's type it in. Right? Slope is 6. Right? Let's check the answer. Right? Got that. Okay, for part D, we want to find the equation of the tangent line at 1, comma f of 1. Right? So let's do that. All right, so there are always two pieces of information we need to find the equation of the tangent of a tangent line. So here, we need to find a point. And I usually call it x1, comma y1. Right? And here, x1 is given right here. It's 1. So here. So x1 is 1. Right? And y1 is f of 1 right here. Remember that we computed f of 1, which was 3. So this guy is actually 3 right there. Right? So 1, comma 3 is the point of tangency. Right? Then we need to find the slope. Slope. and we usually use lowercase m for the slope, right? But the slope we just found from part C, slope is 6, so we can use that, right? Then remember that there's a point slope form. Maybe I'll write it in red. So point slope form goes like this: y minus y1 is equal to m times quantity x minus x1. All right. So we have all the ingredients to cook up the equation. So let's do that. So it's going to be y minus y1 is 3 is equal to, slope is 6, right? So 6 times quantity x minus x1 is 1, right? Right, since we have to write it in y equals form, we're going to do a little bit of simplification here. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute to 6 to x. You will get 6x, right? Then you distribute 6 to negative 1. You get negative 6, right? Then we need to move negative 3 on the left to the other side, right here. So we can do that by simply adding 3 to both sides. So add 3 to both sides. We get y is equal to, right? So 6x is 6x, right? So we have a negative 6 plus 3, so it's going to be negative 3, right? So this is the equation of the tangent line we're looking for. All right, so let's type it in. So that was 6x minus 3, right? So let's check. All right, we got that. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.